Hi, and welcome to my podcast on real relationships. My name is Sophie Passon, and I am a relationship expert, international speaker, and best-selling author of the book Your Other Half. I decided to start this podcast because, in my opinion, relationships are currently not being portrayed as what they really are. Whether you're watching the news, TV, or social media, the perception given to people is wrong. And my aim is to talk about what happens in the real world, talk about real stories, and listen to what real people think, do, or go through, as opposed to creating an expectations of something that doesn't actually exist. I may not agree with everything that is said by my guests, but it is their chance to express their opinions and their stories. And here today, we've got Harriet Evans, and we're going to talk about the trials and tribulations of dating. Hi, Harriet. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
So I'm Harriet. I'm 31. I live in Portsmouth. I have been an event manager most of my life, or since leaving uni, and I have been single for 5 years in March.
5 years in March. So any particular reason? Is it out of choice or is it out of not meeting someone?
So the last relationship I was in ended by my choice. And since then, it has been, I would say, about 3 years of wanting to meet someone, and then 2 years of thinking of, it's not that I don't want to meet someone, it's more that I'm happy on my own, and that's how I want it to be for now.
Would you say that you're actively looking, shall we say, or not?
No.
Okay. So
if I'm completely honest with myself, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
If I'm completely honest with myself, I'm on one dating app, but I probably shouldn't be on it because I'm not actually going to meet anyone.
Fair enough. So what is it you're looking for?
Yeah, I get asked that on the dating apps a lot, and it always is a tricky one to describe, because I think my whole issue with online dating actually is that everything's kind of fast, in fast motion. And so when I get asked what am I looking for, it's really difficult because I want to have a best friend who I fancy a lot. But it's really difficult to find that when you're talking with strangers. Most of the time, that's how I'm meeting people, is online. So they are strangers. And so I'd say, ultimately, a fun relationship, whether that's one that lasts forever, I don't know. I wouldn't say now that I look at someone and think, you're my forever person. I think we move in and out of relationships. We're so fast paced in life generally now anyway, that I suppose I don't look for the one anymore. That's not what I'm looking for.
What do you think that is?
I think it's because now women don't have to be on their own. They don't have to rely on a man to
be self-sufficient,
have money.
Yeah,
to have money, to have a home, to have children even. I've considered freezing my eggs. It would cost too much money, but I have genuinely considered that. So yeah, I think now, it's because I don't need a man. Great for certain things, but for life, they aren't a necessity anymore. And therefore, when they behave badly, I can just be like, I don't need this. I don't need to tolerate bad behavior. So
tell us how you got to that conclusion, because normally people are single out of choice after a relationship ends, then they start looking for somebody. But in your case, it sounds like you started looking for somebody and then you decided that actually, no, I want to be on my own. So something's triggered that. So tell us the story.
I would say that until my last relationship ended about 5 years ago, before then I had relationship hopped. That's how I describe it. Is I just somehow naturally met the next person quite soon after the last person, or there'd been an overlap. Not on my part as much, but and I think just, I don't know if it was an age thing. So I'd been 25, 26 when I broke up with my ex, and it was quite a bad breakup. He'd essentially lied to me the whole of the relationship, and whether that has led to trust issues and affected me in the way I communicate, perhaps when I meet new people, I don't know. But to be honest, I just had a series of terrible dates and terrible people that I started to like that didn't like me in the same way, and I think I just got tired of it. And don't get me wrong, I definitely went back to people that I shouldn't have done time and time again, and you know, you have that sort of self-loathing, why don't they want me? But I tolerate it so much less now. In the last 2 years, I would say, I just think it's your loss, you know. So
but I think this is one of the issues with people being single, is that a lot of the time that's the mindset, why don't they like me? Where at the end of the day, it's not about desperation to be with someone, but a lot of people find somebody, they half tick some boxes, they do, as opposed to being quite clear about, no, that actually isn't good enough, and that's not completely what I'm looking for. Therefore, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. I'm just going to go. And I mean, I personally believe in the one, but that's probably also why I never married, despite having been asked and, you know, it's been discussed about 6 times all in all. And every time I said no, or I didn't say anything, and they took that as no. But it wasn't, according to them, I was a commitment phobe. I wasn't. It's just that it wasn't right for me going forward.
Yeah. I think I've actually... I didn't meet them. I found them on Instagram. There's a couple of people that I follow that just really help. So we've got Florence Given, and she talks about not tolerating crap. I don't know if I'm allowed to use the word crap. But not tolerating anything that is a red flag. If it's a red flag, you can say to them that that's not behaviour that I'm going to tolerate, and move away from it. You don't have to have sort of 5 red flags in a row, be upset about why they don't want to see you again, and then
and sometimes it's not just about red flags. Sometimes we're not well suited. That's it. We see life differently.
Yeah. So I suppose probably one of the other things I felt with online dating, or my biggest issue with it, is that I found that because I've had a few dates now that just have gone nowhere. Probably in the last year, I've kind of had 1 date or 2 dates with someone, and it's just fallen flat, and I haven't even had the spark or anything. And I genuinely believe that online dating makes everything, or makes people want to move very quickly, because you're already setting up expectations of what should happen, because you're on an online dating app. So already it's romantic, and it's not romantic. You're there to form a romantic relationship. Whereas if it was organic, you might meet someone in a pub, the gym, a club, wherever a walk, and you wouldn't necessarily, sometimes obviously you see someone and think, God, they're gorgeous, but you wouldn't necessarily be so drawn to them straight away. Like my first or second boyfriend, I didn't like him for about a year, and then things just changed. So I think actually online dating, there's already such an expectation when you go to meet a stranger. It's kind of like, I've been there before thinking half an hour in, like, do I fancy him? Don't I fancy him? I should decide if I fancy him, because otherwise I'm going to waste his time. And he's potentially thinking the same thing. I think actually you don't need to decide on the first date or the second or the third, but there is that element of being like, well, if I don't decide soon, or if he doesn't tell me soon, he's probably dating other girls, I'll miss my chance. And he could be thinking exactly the same thing, and I think a few times I have dismissed someone before I should have done, because there's that pressure to not waste their time.
Yeah, there's a few things here. It's just, first of all, I personally see online dating in the same way as if you're looking for a job. It's where you put your CV. That's how you're looking for a job, you put your CV online and you talk to people that you're looking for a job. But the second thing with that moving forward, it removes for fun, and then it's different schools of thought. It's either, you know, you feel like you're wasting someone's time, or you're thinking like, oh my God, what if he doesn't like me because I really like him? And actually in both of those, you forget the purpose of dating, which is to get to know one another. You know, it doesn't mean you get married in the next 5 years or whatever, and it doesn't mean you stay together either. It's about getting to know someone, and people forget the enjoyment that it can be to just get to know somebody because of expectations.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more relaxed about it now. You know, I used to get excited when I got a notification saying you've got a match, blah blah blah, and now I don't. I can't even remember their names sometimes when I go on the first date. I just think I just need to meet this person. I might not like the way they talk. I might not like the way they move their hands. I need to not be excited when I go on the date.
And really. The first date should not be seen as a date. It's more of a coffee where you get to know someone and whether they've got potential for a first date, isn't it?
I follow someone on Instagram, James Smith. He calls the first date, it's not a date, it's a sus date. Just sussing someone out to see if you even want to hang out with them a bit more. It's not to be romantic. So yeah, I've been a lot more relaxed about that in the last year.
So what have you tried in the past 3, 4 years, 5 years? Because I know where this is going, sort of thing, because I know something that you've done that most people haven't. So tell us a bit about the journey.
Just dating apps, but recently, oh my gosh, what's her name? Hermione from Harry Potter. I can't remember her name. She put out a post probably last year now about dating herself, and I thought, I'm doing that. I'm definitely doing that at the moment. I'm having nights into myself, nights out to myself, and I think it's important to, you know, to really look after yourself. I think there is a lot of pressure because I'm in my 30s, so I'm 31 now, and I've been single a long time, and I can see even my parents, but I can see sort of parents' friends and people looking at me thinking, oh, poor her. And I wish people that would realize that I'm great. I'm really okay. Like, I'm surviving. You know, you don't need men for pleasure. You don't need men for money. And I think it's a very traditional thing to have a partner. You know, we used to be exchanged for money, women. We used to be exchanged for money. Okay. And some places that we still are. And yeah, I think we need to sort of move away from that being the norm. There is pressure. And I still sometimes think parents would love to have grandchildren, but I think the closest they're probably going to get to that is for grandchildren at this rate anyway. And I think we just probably need to move away from the traditional go to uni, get a job, meet someone, get married, move in together, or the other way around, have babies.
The problem is how society sees it. I know that I've been single in my life for a number of years, twice out of choice. But as you say, people think there's something wrong with you to a degree. How could you possibly want to be on your own? Well, because at the moment, that's what's best for me. But they don't seem to clock that purely because they couldn't be on their own.
Yeah, I mean, I am probably getting to the point where, so when I was single for 4 years, guys on dating apps would ask me, oh, I can't believe you've been single for so long. How come you've been on your own for that long? And I'm thinking, well, I can give you the numbers of the guys that sort of ghosted me and you can ask them, because I've got no idea in that respect. But yeah, I think people start to you get to the sort of 4-year mark and people think, oh, well, there's clearly something wrong with her. You know, she's not doing something right. But I am. And the other thing is, it's really difficult to trust someone again when you've had trust broken. But every single time you have to just dust yourself off and go back in with an open mind. And because if you're really, really guarded, you're not opening yourself up to opportunities. So yeah, I think we just need to probably try and be a bit more open-minded about the fact that being married or being coupled up with someone is a very traditional thing, and you know, families are changing, that, you know, family dynamics are now changing. There's single parent families, there's same gender families, or parents, and anything goes. So I just think it would just be really nice to not feel like people are feeling sorry for me when I say I'm single, because I don't have to think about anyone else. Like, I'm completely selfish. It's probably a bit dangerous I'm not selfish in, you know, with my friends and things, but in respect to the fact that I can go wherever I want, whenever I want.
No compromise, no anything.
I hear my friends on the phone to their partners making plans. I think, God, it takes a long time to make these plans. And I'm really happy to make plans with friends, but when it's kind of going to see your boyfriend's parents that you don't really want to spend the weekend with, I just don't have any of that. And I really, having to split your time with people, I can just do what I want when I want. And I think I really value that time now. I am, I suppose, lucky in a way that I am completely on my own, so I don't have any animals or children. So I don't have to think too much about making plans anyway. But that's another plus side, if you ask me.
But I think, to be honest with you, it's much better to be on your own than to be in a relationship that is not fulfilling.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. So I've got friends that are in relationships, and a lot of them are very happy. But I've also had friends that are really unhappy for a long time. And, some of them stay together because their parents really like their partners, or, they kind of tick boxes. And I think it's really sad that people feel that they have to stay together. And often I think, oh, God, they look really happy, but they might not be. You don't know what's going on behind the screens. You see it a lot on Instagram, and it's that comparison thing that you have to move past, because it is easy to compare yourself or your life to other people's. But actually, a bit like I think we were talking about earlier, it's kind of being content in your own self.
Yeah.
And I think when you're really content in your own self, you become more attractive to people as well.
And I think that unless you're happy single, you won't find the right person, because you'll settle for anything.
Yeah.
Or you give that unconscious vibe,
Yeah, I think you definitely give off, I feel like I give off vibes of not even realizing someone's in the room sometimes. Don't get me wrong, when I see someone I fancy, I try and give them the eye. I'm not very good at flirting anymore. But I think it's that kind of being a little bit unbothered. People like the chase, so I mean, it hasn't worked that well for me, to be fair.
The thing is, we often, and I think that the issue with online dating is that people see it as a be-all and end-all, and as a result, they close themselves off to other opportunities that are in real day-to-day life, basically.
Yeah, so I actually, the last person that I was seeing, I met them at the gym, and I was completely oblivious to thinking that I was going to meet someone there. And I think because I just wasn't thinking about it and just chatting and getting to know them like I was everyone else, because I was new, I was completely new. So I was kind of everyone was new to me. And I think because of the fact that I hadn't even thought about it, and at the time I was kind of online dating anyway, I probably just seemed more natural, and I was probably more myself, and therefore I suppose more attractive. I don't know. And we met that way, and I haven't met someone without being online for a really long time. So it was really nice, really great.
I think it's interesting because I have done online dating in the past, and the upshot of it is that I've never met someone online, not once.
Wow.
I mean, I've had the odd, like, going for a date or whatever, but it's never really gone any further than that. Not really.
Yeah.
Most of the people I've had a relationship with I've met them offline.
Okay, yeah. So to be fair then, I've only had one boyfriend that I've met on Tinder, who was the last one. Everyone else, but that was probably a bit pre-online dating. Everyone else has been through kind of organic.
But having said all that, I know quite a few people who are friends, and even like, you know, in what I do, they've met the partner online. It is a way, without a shadow of a doubt.
It is. It opens you up to loads more people in your network or in your area that aren't necessarily in your network or your sort of normal day-to-day routine that you would never meet. And I do think it's amazing how you can get connected to people now.
Across the world.
My sister, she was bored on Hinge, which is on the dating apps. You can actually move your location. You don't have to be in the location. She said she was bored and she moved hers up to Manchester. Started having a chat with people there. I think they soon cottoned on that she definitely had never been to Manchester. But it's amazing what you can do and who you can meet. And you can kind of change your radius up to sort of 100 miles away. Depends what you want, if you're willing to travel. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a way of meeting people. I do think that its times may be a little bit limited in terms of it being the most popular way to meet people now.
I think it's because it's a bit lazy, if I'm honest, because it's easy on a Friday night in your PJs with a bottle of wine to just scroll through a meat catalogue.
Yeah.
It is. You know, instead of doing Amazon for shopping, let's go through the meat catalogue of what's available.
No, it costs you less.
Exactly.
So, well, yeah, there is that. Yes, and that's what I was saying right at the beginning. I am on Hinge. I shouldn't be, because really I'm a bit lazy, not replying to people, and I might delete it after this call because I feel bad now.
I'm on a few apps, not because I'm looking, but because sometimes I have to do some online dating reviews. So I'm on there. Now, it always completely mystify me how, like, I'm thinking of Plenty of Fish here, because I got an email today saying someone sent me a message. I have not been on Plenty of Fish for over a month, right? And it says that because if you go down the list of people, you can tell if they were locked on an hour ago or a month ago. So why on earth are they messaging me? It's obvious I'm not interested.
Yeah. Or you've met someone.
Yeah, exactly.
How have they even found your profile? I haven't actually used Plenty of Fish, but
go through enough pages that you run out, you will get to the, you know, because it goes often, it's like online an hour ago, 2 hours ago, a week ago, and then it goes down in time. So if you are that desperate to scroll the 150, 200 pages, you can find me.
Well, maybe you'd be worth the search.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. I'm not on there for that. So
no, I know.
So what would you say you've learned along the way?
I definitely think the biggest thing is to be happy in myself. You know, there are merits to dating myself. I've probably got to know myself better in the last, since I've been single. I've done so much stuff that I wouldn't have done, that I have done single, that I would never have done with a partner. I've been to South Africa on my own for a holiday. I just took myself off, and it was a once in a lifetime trip, and I'm so happy that I did it. I've joined clubs, I've started different sports, I've this sounds really silly, but even just being happy going out for walks on my own for like half a day, just things like that. And now, in a weird way, I think I'd always want that time. I think if I met someone now, it would be someone that would appreciate that I need that me time and that has their own time.
I actually think it's really important in a relationship, because otherwise, you know, it's too much. You need to miss each other. Otherwise, you feel a really boring routine. Yeah.
Yes, that's the other thing. I just think I don't want to have a boring routine. Like, I was living with my ex, and it was just very samey. I don't know, it's not always exciting, and I know it doesn't always stay like that kind of honeymoon period, but I think, I know it sounds a bit weird. I kind of want a bit of an unconventional relationship where maybe we just don't live together. We have our own places and we share time together, but maybe it's just a bit different. And then when you do spend time together, it's really special, rather than it becoming routine and same. So yeah, I'd say that I've really learnt to value my own company and be really comfortable in myself. And I don't think I would know as much about myself now if I'd been in another relationship after this one. I think I'd say that. Just learn to be comfortable in your own
thing as well is people often, how can I put this, not even politely but easily, sometimes they force one another to go and do something and literally drag the partner along where they could have done it on their own. And I think this is where, for a healthy relationship, you need to have a bit of both. You need to have the time with somebody, but you definitely need the time on your own.
Yeah, so I was sat on the sofa now with my partner, and I was like, I want to walk, and they go, oh, I don't really fancy it. Instead of being like, oh, come on, I'd be like, cool, okay, I'll see you later. It'll be an hour. I'd love that.
Yeah,
I have no idea if or when I'll have it, but I think that's cool.
No, but you have that kind of like freedom whilst you are with someone. I think it's exactly what you need. So would you have any advice for anybody listening to this and thinking, oh, I'm not sure about starting dating?
I think just have a really open mind. Don't, it's going to sound really bad. Set expectations low.
No, that's right, though, because a lot of the time people set expectations of something that they might want, but that they don't need. And they don't open themselves up to meet somebody if it doesn't tick that box or that box without giving them a chance where actually underneath they are exactly what they want or what they need.
I realise actually by saying that I probably sound like I'm contradicting myself, because I also said about not tolerating bad behaviour. I think set expectations set expectations low in the way that you've just explained, as in don't go in with your list of boxes to tick, because no one's perfect and there'll be things that you like about someone, things you don't like about someone. I think don't tolerate bad behaviour, set expectations high in terms of how you deserve to be treated, but don't go in with looking for whatever your Prince Charming looks like, because you'll be disappointed most of the time. I think, like we said, think of these first dates as like sus dates, coffee chats, and set them up for like an hour. Don't go I always, well, not that I have been because of lockdown, that's been another fun bit, but don't set something up that if you're not sure about someone that's going to be sort of 3-4 hours, or plan something for kind of an hour or two after you've got to meet a friend or whatever. Because I think actually, if you think you'll know if you like someone within an hour, and then you can always extend it if you're having a nice time. But that's probably one of the things I'd say, is don't make the first dates too long. Go in with an open mind and just, try and relax and be yourself. But also, if you don't want to date, don't try and learn to kind of love yourself, because it's really rewarding. I love it.
I think the thing with dating is that sometimes people feel that they have to, but there is actually a point as well where you have to be ready. You can't just... I recall someone who her husband had left her and he met someone very quickly, which is normally when they've been really ready to go for quite a long time. And she was like, right, well, if he's having someone, so am I. And I was like, no, it's not a good idea, because you're setting up issues for the future here. But she did it anyway, and she was not ready.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. It's they might be happy with someone, that's cool, that's fine, but you've got to do what's right for you. Don't do something because someone else is doing it.
A bit like with what you were saying earlier, with parents, friends saying, oh, why don't you meet someone? Well, don't do it for them.
No, it's that feeling like, because that's what is seen as the norm, that you should be. I love it when people just accept me for the fact that I'm single and on my own, and they don't go, oh, so you don't have a partner? So actually the estate agent, when I bought my flat 3 years ago now, said, are you moving in with anyone? And I was like, I'm moving in with my skateboard, thank you. You know, no, there's no one. And yeah, it would take me a long time to share my space with someone again.
Yeah, and there's no one, and you're proud of it.
Yeah, I'm totally proud of it. It's not like, oh no, it's just me, and we're great.
Yeah, exactly. But Harriet, thank you so much. It's been lovely talking to you today.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, all we've got time for, because I could talk all day about that. For everybody else, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, then please subscribe, leave us a review, and more importantly, come back for the next episode. Thank you.